What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Thomas Gallery, and today we are drawing a well-known artist who's become even more well-known as of recent, Jean-Michel Basquiat. Okay, a New York artist from the 1980s who peaked in the 1980s. Started off with graffiti, known as Samo, and he's a painter, illustrator, all that. And his works are well known. Even back then, he was pretty well known back then. He was artistically linked to the great artist Andy Warhol during that same time. Andy Warhol was the guy on the scene, and at that time Basquiat was young and up and coming, but the potential was seen from him very, very early, very, very early. And like I said, well-known artist, and as of recent as what I would say about a week ago, I think, he's become even more well-known due to one of his paintings selling for $110.5 million. I did a video on this when it happened. I got the news on Instagram about the painting, and I looked on, I checked it out, and I was like, yo, it's the highest amount ever sold for one of his paintings. It was an untitled painting, and it was sold to I forgot the guy's name, but it was he's on social media also. He's Japanese. The man who bought it, and that was an amazing moment because the only other artist that really I think it's going low. The only other artist that really was selling like that, like during his time, was Andy Warhol. And for them to be linked again like that is amazing. That was cool. Yeah. Basquiat life was pretty interesting during that time, during the 80s. He was the 80s, was a very, very pivotal time in the art scene, the contemporary art scene. And Basquiat was that guy. He was that dude for real. Usually it takes an artist some time to really get recognition, even during his time, let alone after he passed. But Basquiat was that guy that when he jumped on, the potential was seen immediately. And from what I've read and from what I've learned, especially in New York, because he's from New York. So it was something to see. He died young. He died young in the 80s. He was living that life. He and drugs and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, he died of an overdose. If I'm not mistaken. But his work was such that, how they say an artist doesn't become famous until they dead. Well, he was an exception. Meaning his art became even more famous after he passed. Which means when he was still alive, it was doing well. He was that dude. He was the hot new kid on the block, and he was that dude back then. And for his work now to be appreciated even more, even by people who were around during the time he was alive. There are a lot of people who actually, who knew him, and it was like they were saying, they would say like, his work was amazing back then. Like when it first came out, it was amazing because his work to me was it had like an abstract feel to it. To me, his work seemed to focus more on the message than the image. Like the image would give a very good depiction of what the message was trying to convey. Excuse me. He's trying to convey. You may see some like the image is like very abstract, but you knew what it was. If he was drawing a skull, you knew it was a skull, but the way he would draw the skull, it would just he drew it in a way where the message was driven home. Because I guess to him, that's what he envisioned when he saw certain things, when he wanted to make certain things. He saw certain images in his mind that really, really showed in his work. Like the piece that sold for $110.5 million. It was an untitled piece, but it was like to me like the image of a skull. But the image of the skull was like it was haunting to me. It was like very, very haunting to me. It was very striking. The image was very, very striking. Like when you looked at it, it looked like he was thinking about all of the images growing up in New York that he may have seen. To me, he gave that image, he gave that an impression when the painting was done. Sometimes he'll have like an untitled painting, but you can kind of look at it and see what the image is. Like you kind of know. But yeah, but he was young. He was really, really young when he passed. Like I think I'm 34 now. I'm older than him when he I was old, I'm older than him now than when he died. And I'm 34 years old, so he was pretty young. I just think that, someone like that to go, that that, this is real. When you have an artist in front of you that is bringing something new to the table, don't wait until that person's gone to appreciate their work, because there will never be another Basquiat. Like, you can't. His work is so distinctive that you can't copy it. You can't copy his style. Like, that's like, his work is so distinctive. Everybody knows a Basquiat work when they see one. If you're ever introduced to a Basquiat piece, from that point forward, you know his work. That's how distinctive his work is. You know it whenever you see it, and anybody you can identify a Basquiat piece very, very fast. It's like you really do to pick it out right there. Like, okay, that's his. I know his work. That's his. Anywhere you go, you can tell his work. And you even got to put the name on there. You already know his work. Ooh, man, mosquitoes are out here, man. Summertime coming up, these mosquitoes are out here, snacking on my legs, snacking on my goddamn legs. I got like 10 mosquito bites on me. My arms, my legs especially. They just munching on me. Well, not really munching on me, but I'm gonna do a painting one day called Mosquito Bites. So you just see a man with just multiple arms swatting at his body. Mosquito bites from the Thomas Gallery. These mosquitoes are working on me. They are working on you, boy. They're working on the kid, y'all. They're working on it. I know how to stop the itching. You know, when you get a mosquito bite, you feel that itching. I know how to stop it. It's actually very simple. But at this particular moment, I can't do that for obvious reasons, as you see me drawing and coloring. So I can say, oh, let me go take care of this. But I will when this video goes on. When this video goes off, I am definitely going to take care of these mosquito bites. They're getting on my nerves. Let me switch it up a little bit. Draw a little shadow. That's that. What's today? Today's the 2nd, I believe. 2nd of June, yeah. So 6/2/2017. Excuse me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Jean-Michel Basquiat. Hope y'all enjoy this drawing, this video. Leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. I will catch you all later. Peace.